one of the premier products for people who are older or younger, even athletes, that are constantly working their bodies hard because pain evolves.
Yeah. Ancient acupuncture dynamics there, where the right side of the body has a certain polarity and the left side of the body has the opposite polarity. So white on right, tan on left, generally. And though there are also various types of ways you can use IceWave, but the bottom line is it's so interesting that people can say, I have a lower back pain, my elbow hurts, I have a headache, gee, my knee really is bothering me. And you can work with the IceWave pain patches and try different types of things in a span of several minutes, and you can kind of dial in the best way to use that set of patches where people, I mean, you have to see it to believe it, actually, in terms of what people's reactions are in the moment when they try this technology for the first time. People can walk up to David on the street, having heard of him, say, I got this pain over here. And he goes, well, here, I got some pain patches. Next thing you know, they're going, wait a minute, gee, my pain is gone, right? Now,
I have literally seen people who were in pain for months or years, and the pain went away immediately.
Yeah, and look, to be honest, I am not the techno wizard for the company. David is. And he could sit here and he could dive deep in terms of explaining to you exactly what's going on inside the body. But the bottom line is, and you have to experience it to believe it. Well, how is that possible? That can't work like that. What kind of a gimmick is that? What is this, right? Well, you can think all that. But the fact of the matter is, when you try IceWave, because you have a particular pain, next thing you know, 8 or 9 people out of 10 will watch their pain go from a 7 or an 8 or a 9, whatever it is, down to a 3 or a 2 or a 0. I'm talking often in seconds. It's just insane, and it's part of the reason why we're experiencing such growth. And then you layer over X39 onto that, which also has its own degree of pain-reducing capabilities that people have experienced also. So between IceWave and X39 and Eon, you kind of have and glutathione, which is also something that's great for dealing with, and addresses the antioxidant in the body. I call those our pain be gone products, and as a package, oh my goodness, are they powerful.
Absolutely. And I want to say a couple of things. Most of you know I work with the tools of energy psychology. And in energy psychology, we believe all pain is a constriction of energy, whether it's emotional pain, physical pain, whatever. And so I like to think of IceWave as sort of straightening out those lines of energy so they flow the way they're supposed to, unraveling the constriction. So, because when the body is doing what it's designed to do, it works beautifully.
Right.
So IceWave just helps unkink the kinks, and then the energy can flow the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, and you said something. The fact is that the LifeWave family of products are designed to allow the body to operate like it's supposed to, and that's really kind of an interesting bottom line statement. No drugs, no injections, no side effects, and I always add, no kidding. I mean, it really is, right?
I like that.
I mean, it's powerful. It's non-drug. It's safe. Sure, you want to talk with your doctor and mention it, and often they will say, well, now what's that? Well, gee, if there's no drugs going in the body, I guess you could try it. They have to educate themselves along the way as well. But it's really a fascinating company, and I knew the owner when he first started it 15 years ago. We kept in touch over the years, and then we started to talk lately about some kind of, what do you want to call it, kismet? Serendipity, whatever. Timing was really interesting and perfect, and we ended up deciding to work together. So it's a fun ride and a great company.
And I would also like to say about Eon that in my work as a therapist, I often use this patch. The minute somebody walks through the door, I'll put an Eon patch on the back of their, on the vertebra in the back of the body. Because it immediately starts helping them relax. It's anti-stress as well as anti-inflammatory. So any of you that work with agitated teenagers or clients, or maybe you can slip one on your boss when he's not looking to calm him down. Eon is the patch that could really help with that.
And I think it's important to note, that some people will notice a reaction virtually instantly. Others, it might be 10 or 15 minutes. Other, it might be a day. Others, it might be a week.
True. It's
Others, it
different for
might
everybody.
be longer. Now we're talking about different situations like, gee, I don't sleep so well. And maybe the third night they realize, wait a second, wow, I slept through the night, as opposed to the first night.
Right.
Or
And you know what, Jim? We've got to go to a break.
Okay.
But we'll be right back to talk about that some more.
Fair enough.
All right. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with more Change It Up with Paula Shaw on AM 1170, The Answer.
Hi, Paula Shaw here. I'm so delighted to share with you that LifeWave has become our newest sponsor on Change It Up Radio. My family and I all use their tiny wearable patch technology, and the results are life-changing. My sister had lupus for over 20 years and has never slept well. Now she does. My mom's frozen shoulders simply went away. My favorite is the age-reversing X39, a patch engineered to activate stem cells. Yeah, it's true. They really work to improve how you look, feel, perform, and heal. LifeWave patches use a patented form of phototherapy, using frequencies of light to safely boost health and wellness at the cellular level with no drugs. Learn more online by visiting lifewave.com. That's lifewave.com.
My business has lost its upward momentum. I'm working up to 14 hours a day, but my sales seem to have plateaued. I'm so overwhelmed.
I used to have that same problem, but ever since I found the Balanced Millionaire Consulting Firm, our sales and profits have risen sharply. Even our staff is more engaged, and the atmosphere is full of energy.
I have no time to work on my business to develop new sales and marketing strategies. I would love to expand, have strategic partnerships, and access to financing.
You can do all of that and more. The Balanced Millionaire Consulting Team advises you on streamlining your operations, establishing alliances, and most importantly, increasing your revenues and profits.
Let us help you build value and reduce stress in your business. Take charge. Don't let your business control your life. Visit thebalancedmillionaire.com or call 442-224-0160 for a free consultation. That's 442-224-0160 or thebalancedmillionaire.com.
Welcome back to Change It Up. Now here's your host, Paula Shaw.
Welcome back to Change It Up Radio with Paula Shaw. And in studio with me today is Jim Caldwell, executive from LifeWave, our sponsor. And we are talking today about boomers and the pros and the cons of being a boomer today, and the many products that are helping us to have a better life as boomers. In our last segment, Jim talked quite a bit about the pain patches and remember, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the phototherapy patches that LifeWave creates that have no drugs and no chemicals that can absolutely change the quality of your life. And by the way, their latest patch, which we're going to be talking about in this segment, the X39, activates your body's own stem cells. So don't go away. All right, Jim. So we were talking about pain and Eon and IceWave, how good they are for that. One of the other things I so often hear boomers complain about is energy. I'm tired. I just can't do what I used to do. So let's talk about one of the best things with that problem, the energy enhancer patches.
Also, white on right, tan on left. So it's a set of two patches, and you can place them
I have them on right
up here in
here.
your chest area, like about right here. You can put them on your wrist, as you just saw with Paula. So there's several different. You can put them on the outside of your knees as well. So those placements are certainly, that information is there for each package. But yeah, what's interesting about the energy patches, I must tell you, when I first ran into LifeWave, about 15 years ago. What would it be, 2004, 5, something like that? There I was having a friend tell me about it, and he said, get out and do some push-ups. I was like, what? He said, no, right now, drop down. How many push-ups can you do? And, I thought, oh, wait a second. I'm going to be an embarrassed dude. I mean, how many can I do? I don't know. Maybe I did 21 or 22 or something like that. He says, okay, stand up. And then he put these patches on me, and I had no idea what they were at the time. He said, here, put them right here. And he didn't even put them on my skin, by the way. He just said on the outside of my T-shirt. How's that work? Well, it's influenced by the heat signature of the body, which isn't just at the skin, right? It comes out a little bit from the body. He says, now do push-ups again. I said, wait a second, I have to rest. Give me, 5 or 10 minutes to be able to maybe do the same amount, let alone more. He said, no, just get down, I'm doing them now. And okay, figuring I'm going to, do 15 or 16. I did 32 push-ups.
Wow, you topped your first record.
Right? Now think about that. Normally I wouldn't have expected to do nearly even the 22, let alone 32. So I was like, what happened there? Well, it is interesting that the patches communicate to the body at the cellular level, and they instantly on the ability for the body to burn fat more effectively. It involves the mitochondrial, right? Getting into some of the minutia terminology of what's happening at the cellular level. And the body is able to generate more energy sooner, in fact, right now. And so that has impacts, and no matter what you're doing, name it. You're working in a store for 9 hours a day on your feet. You got some more energy than you used to. You don't have to run over to Starbucks and grab coffee, going for the stimulants, this kind of thing. Don't have to do it with the energy enhancers. And it just has, you exercise, you run 5 miles, you're finished, you're tired, sure you are. But some people report, wait a second, I feel like I could go another 5. Gee, wait a second. I don't feel as tired as I used to. Wow. And, later that night, maybe you're going to go dancing and you say, yeah, I'm going dancing, as opposed to I'm going to sit on a couch. So it has this beautiful impact on the body, giving you this natural additional energy that you notice, you put to work, your life is better. You come home at the end of a long day, you're ready to go. You still have it, if you will, and especially older people that tend to wind down faster. But,
And it's not like a spike, like a caffeine high.
Oh, for sure not.
It's just this consistent flow of high energy. That's one of the things I like. Yeah. And I have a little tip for the ladies. The 2 of the patches we've talked about, both the energy enhancer and LifeWave, put them on the bottom of your feet when you got to wear those high heels. And I'm telling you, your feet won't hurt. You'll have better energy longer.
Yeah, I've got a pain on my wrist. I do a lot of typing of late. Big fat report I'm working on. And so I got my LifeWave out and also put X39 in the back of my neck, kind of a double whammy. And I put LifeWave right here, white and tan, right there, right on it. Boom. I was like, whoa, here we go. What pain?
And the pain was gone.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So pain, energy. We talked about glutathione, which is great as elevating the master antioxidant called glutathione. This is also an element in the body that we all have, glutathione. And people that get sick all the time and don't feel good most of the time often are found to be lacking in glutathione, often are found to be deficient in glutathione. So there's there's a relationship, right? You can say, wait a second, there's a tie in there, isn't there? Absolutely there is. So, you get a cold, you feel a tickle in your throat, you feel like you're getting the sniffles, you slap on a glutathione.
Oh, I helped my mother, who's 90. She started getting that awful cold that was going around. I put an X39 on her. She wears that all the time anyway. But 2 glutathione on her lungs because she was starting to get this awful cough and everything. 2 days later, she said, honey, your doctoring made such a difference. I said, how do you feel? She said, I feel great at 90, with a lung thing. You know how dangerous that can be with older people.
And, I put myself in your shoes, anybody listening right now that's hearing this, and it's very easy to say to yourself, oh, come on. You can.
Sure.
We're all skeptics.
Sounds too good to be true.
We're all from Missouri, as they call it, where, hey, show me state, right? Come on, prove it. I'm not buying this.
Yeah.
And I get that. It is hard to believe because there are so many things going on in this world today that, okay, fake news and all, what are we supposed to believe? What can we trust, right? What can I count on in terms of any kind of a product that I want it to actually perform for me? I don't want to spend, 60 or 70 or $100 on a product for a month and then find myself, oh dear, this is another one of these scams not working. Well, that's not LifeWave. This truly is science. We have over 80 clinical studies on this technology. We have over 100 patents and patents pending worldwide. Okay, David Schmidt has numerous patents in the world of regenerative science. We have scientists from around the world calling David, asking, now, what are you doing? And how are you doing that? I mean, I'm serious. We're getting the elite scientists in multiple disciplines giving David a call regularly, finding out what are you people up to and how do you do that? And of course, he doesn't tell them everything because that's why you have a patent. It's trade secrets and all of that.
Well,
but it
let's
is
tell
serious
them
science.
about David's latest, I like to call it miracle. This patch that's doing amazing things, the X39. You mentioned a little while ago that it elevates a copper peptide in the body. And what does that then lead to?
Well, it's interesting. There's a fellow by the name of Lauren Picard, who's, gosh, I believe he's in his early 80s. For over 50 years, he, back in 1973, he's a research scientist before that, but in 73, he discovered this thing called GHK-Cu, all right? It's a copper peptide. And he noticed that it showed up when there was inflammation. He noticed that that peptide, that copper peptide, seemed to be around when there were problems within the body. I have a broken leg. Well, there was a whole bunch of copper peptide over in that area. And so he immediately thought, it's the problem. It's causing the problem. This is a bad thing. So a test was started by a group of scientists other than himself, about, well, let's remove copper. Let's remove copper from the body. And that, I'm telling you, that study stopped really fast because like 1 or 2 people died. Ooh. There was a whole negative downside that occurred, and they went, wait a second, maybe it's not the problem.
The good stuff.
Maybe it's coming to the rescue.
Yeah.
There's something going on with this. And so this guy spent upwards of 50 years, the only guy really. No one else has picked up that baton and run with it. And David discovered this whole massive amount of studies on copper peptide. And he thought, gosh, maybe if I can somehow elevate and cause the body to produce more of that, gee, maybe that would have some beneficial effects. Gee, over here, oh gosh, it seems to have a positive effect on stem cells. Let me do some research on science on it. So I'm babbling here, but the bottom line, I get excited. The bottom line is, he was able to figure out how to tell the body to elevate that copper peptide, and that has been discovered. He realized that will activate the stem cells that are already in your body, upwards of 20% of the stem cells that are in your body. I mean, resetting genes to a younger, more youthful state. I mean, don't get me started. It does things that when you look at the studies, there's the proof that this copper peptide is being elevated and good things are going on. But the anecdotal evidence, do I have time to tell you one story? Something like a minute? I'm going to tell it in 30 seconds. Here we go.
Okay.
Got an email 2 days ago. Family out of Denmark, 6-year-old kid, smashed his finger in the car door, pretty much severed the tip of his finger. The doctor said, oh, you can't reattach that. That will never grow back. That will die. The parents happened to be associated with LifeWave. They said, no, reattach that finger. They applied X39 and one other patch. And guess what? 2 months later, they showed us pictures. The finger looks darn near normal. And it shouldn't. The doctors were like, what is this? You mentioned miracle? Well, there was an example of another one. It's an amazing product.
It's an amazing product. I use it. My parents use it. And my parents are going strong. And one of the things you didn't mention, Jim, was that not only does it activate stem cells, but a high quality stem cell. Because as we get older, our stem cells are not so wonderful.
Yeah.
But now we're getting these great stem cells. So, and by the way, more collagen, girls.
Oh, don't get me started on all of
The
that.
wrinkles are going away.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, thank you so much for being with us today. It went by way too fast.
Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure.
We've got to go to a break, but come back because we have lots more to talk about. about LifeWave patches.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
you.
We'll be right back with more Change It Up with Paula Shaw on AM 1170, The Answer.
Jack Gutman survived World War II and then returned home to the hardest fight of his life with PTSD and alcoholism. Now at age 93, he's a businessman and comedian, sharing his message of recovery and hope in his new book, One Veteran's Journey to Heal the Wounds of War, helping our heroes and anyone who has experienced PTSD find happiness again. Get Jack Gutman's new book, One Veteran's Journey to Heal the Wounds of War, at Amazon.com. Or to order a signed copy, call 714-525-4954.
For those looking to improve their lives, there's nobody better to turn to than Paula Shaw. Paula helps people regain successful lives by identifying and eliminating self-sabotaging behavior using a multitude of mind-body techniques to identify and resolve their core issues. Working with a wide variety of healing modalities, she provides her clients with the most effective process for their specific needs. To book a session with Paula, call 858-480-9234. That's 858-480-9234.
Welcome back to Change It Up. Now here's your host, Paula Shaw.
Welcome back to Change It Up Radio with Paula Shaw. I'm delighted to have you with me. And in this last segment of our show, I will be answering emails. So, Todd, are you there? And do we have some emails?
I am here, and we have a couple emails. The first one reads, Dear Paula, my mother died a year ago, and while my father was devastated, 6 months later he started dating a woman 15 years younger than he and is now talking about marrying her. My siblings and I are very concerned. He loved my mother very much, and we think he's just doing this on a rebound. What should we do? Signed, Margie.
Margie? All right, Margie. So your mom died 6 months ago, and your dad has started dating someone else that he now feels he wants to marry. That's a tough one. I can totally understand for you as the children that it's hard to imagine your dad going on with life with someone else. But I can tell you that this isn't unusual. Statistically, men often will find a new partner, whether it's been a death or a divorce, especially if they have known many years of living in a marriage. And if it was a happy marriage, even more so. They want to create that joy in their lives again. They're also used to sharing their life with someone, and they're used to having that mate, that partner there in the home with them as a companion, and perhaps someone who cooks their meals and helps to take care of them. And so what I would encourage you to do is talk to your dad. Sit down with him alone and just ask him, what does he love about this new person? What are the parts of that relationship that feel so good to him? Why is he wanting this marriage? And maybe even express your truth about how that feels uncomfortable to you and your siblings because it feels too soon, or it feels like maybe he's making a mistake. And of course, all of us who have older parents, and I'm fortunate enough that both of my parents are still living, of course we feel like we know better than they do, that we should jump in and tell them how they should do things. But let's not forget they're adults who have lived their whole life, and many more adult years than we've lived yet. And on some levels, they really do feel that they know what they want. And they're also aware of the fact that they don't have tons of years in front of them. When we're 20, we feel invincible. And we know that all things being equal, we have many years ahead of us. But our parents are aware that there aren't that many years ahead of them. And so it's very, very difficult for them to think about a really long courtship, or if something's making them happy and they're feeling good about it, then they want to experience more of it. And that relationship might make a lot of sense for them to go ahead and proceed into, because what's the alternative? That he live alone, that he be lonely, that he not be as content with his life. So I would really encourage you to open up the lines of communication, really to help you understand and accept this choice that he has made, because it's the most wonderful choice that he could be making, and it could give him a quality of life that will be absolutely wonderful, rather than a lonely quality of life, which, by the way, can lead to illness, can lead to a deterioration of the mental capacities. People do better, especially if they've been used to being in a relationship. They do better when they're interacting with other human beings. So I hope that helps. But primarily what I want to say to you is talk to him. Talk to him and find out what he's feeling, and then be open to accepting that he knows what he needs for his joy. All right. Todd, we have another one?
Yes, we have one more here.
Okay.
This one reads, Dear Paula, I'm a woman in my early 60s, and a few years ago, in a few years, I'm encouraged to retire. I love my work and still feel fully capable of doing it well.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I've slowed down a bit, I still want to contribute and feel fully engaged in life. I'm afraid that I'm going to be cast in a role that I don't want to play. Should I work on preparing myself for old age, or should I keep going as I am for as long as I can? I've heard powerful arguments from friends on both positions. What do you think? Signed, Lynette.
Lynette, boy, I hear you on this one, and I'm in your camp. I always say I'm going to be dragged into old age kicking and screaming. And just what we've been talking about in studio today with Jim Caldwell, one of the reasons that I budget my money and my time so that I can use these patches is because I intend to be vital and happy and healthy and strong every day that I'm on this planet. And if you're feeling that, if you're feeling that you still have vitality, that you still have grit and the desire to live and the desire to live fully, I say go for it. And as I mentioned in the last response, people who are engaged socially and on every level, mentally, people who read books, people who engage with other human beings, who talk, who are interacting with life, live happier, have less depression, less anxiety, less illness. So if you're fortunate enough that your body and your mind are saying go, then I say absolutely go with that, because what's the alternative? I don't know about you, but I don't want to be that woman. And not casting disparaging remarks at anybody out there, but I remember when I was a kid, older people just sat and watched soap operas all day. They called them my stories. I can even remember my grandmother talking about watching her stories. Well, that's fine. And if you're happy with that, I say more power to you. But I'd rather be living my story than watching my story. And that's the kind of life experience I want. And Lynette, it sounds like that's the camp you're in as well. So yes, keep working if you want to work. Or for those of you who are tired of your job and you can't wait to retire, then find something else meaningful to do. Because I tell you, too many of the people who end up in my office, strangely enough, are those who retired and now they're either drinking issues, eating issues, boredom, depression, anxiety, because too much self-focus doesn't usually go in the right direction. We came to this planet, we're herding mammals, guys. Humans are herding mammals. We need the herd, and we do best when we're interacting with the herd, especially if we're interacting in a meaningful way, in a way that makes our life have purpose. And there's so many great things that can be done out there. There's so many groups you can volunteer for. There's help that's needed on so many levels out there. We've had a lot of nonprofit groups on this show. And there are those who are serving veterans, and those that are trying to prevent human trafficking, and those that are just trying to make life better for older people, and those that are helping kids on the street. There's a lot of work to be done out there. So, Lynette, if you still got energy to get up and go, I say go use it. And I think the world will be a better place if everybody who feels like you do stays vital, stays active, stays engaged in life. So thank you for that. I hope this was helpful. And it's funny, I know I'm on a bit of a soap opera here, or soapbox here, but I'm so big on the fact that we don't have to get old till we start thinking we're old. And, long ago, somebody told me that every so many days, all the cells in your body replicate. So I said to myself, well, if that's true, why would we ever get old? And I think it's actually been an important part of my staying young thinking, younger looking, and younger acting, because I figure my cells are regenerating every so many days. Age is a concept that I don't really relate to. And so if any of you want to jump on that bandwagon, please feel free. Let's all stay young forever and healthy and happy. And thanks to LifeWave and the stuff Jim Caldwell and I talked about today, there are actually products that are helping us do that very thing. So Yahoo for LifeWave. Again, Jim, thank you for being my guest today, for helping us to inform people about what's available out there so that we can live better, live longer, live healthier and happier.
Well, your outlook, Paula, is meaningful, and I think it's incredibly valuable what you have to say. And I'm sure the reason you have so many listeners and watchers is because your positioning and how you look at life. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Why? Let's not all go fold up our little tent and go off in the corner. No, let's go for it. Let's continually try, right?
Thank you so much.
That's great sounding wisdom for sure.
And thank you for being with us. And thank you to my listeners. Remember, you can hear us on AM 1170 and 96.1 FM, Sunday evenings at 9. We are on every major podcast platform, including iHeartRadio and Blog Talk Radio. And if you forget all those things that I just said, ask Siri or ask Alexa. They'll find us. All right. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Change It Up with life transitions expert, speaker, and best-selling author, Paula Shaw. Join the Change It Up movement with Paula Shaw as we explore topics that inspire, welcome change, and create a new kind of conversation. To learn more about Paula, how to be a guest on the show, and sponsorship opportunities, visit changeitupradio.com. Whether you're feeling happy, sad, mad, or glad, it never hurts to change it up.
Talk to the Facebook people? Yeah. Okay. Well, to our Facebook live stream viewers, we have heard some chat. We received an email that maybe you couldn't see us very well. I hope that's not true, but we will try to remedy whatever that problem is by next week. Unfortunately, then you didn't get to see Jim Caldwell's beautiful blue eyes. But anyway, I'm sorry if there was a problem with the visuals, but we will see if we can get that fixed by next week. Thank you for being with us. And by the way, we forgot to tell you that if you want more information about LifeWave products, I am a LifeWave distributor, and you can contact me through lifewave.com/safe health. That's lifewave.com/safe health. All right. Thanks for being with us. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Oops. I almost did my big fat Greek wedding move.